Alrighty, it is 8:59 here in the metro Atlanta area on this beautiful Friday morn. And I was taking a crap 5 minutes ago, and I was originally going to do an episode on partying and how the origins of partying came about, if there's any benefits, the downsides when people party most in their life, how they do it, how it got started, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to do that, but we're going to save that for another day because while I was on the toilet, instead, I was thinking about the workout I was going to do today. And I have always exercised my whole life. My father was actually a amateur bodybuilder. Got a master's degree in exercise science or exercise physiology or something. And then my mom was an aerobic instructor, and that's actually how they met, was at a gym. All that to say is that they pretty much forced me to exercise as a kid and instilled that habit, which thank goodness. I mean, good. I love to exercise now. But recently, I have changed my kind of exercise, at least strength training routine. And that's what I would like to talk about today is the frequency in which I now strength train, or whatever you want to call it, resistance train, workout, try to build muscle kind of thing, and the exercise that I do. So I only, believe it or not, work out, strength train once a week. That's it. Once a week, and this all stemmed from the fact that I've been working out for like 6 or 7 years consistently, and honestly, I'm not that big. Look at me. I'm just a regular guy, and I haven't seen much progress, is my point. And I think a part of that is because of not giving my body time to recover. Because when I do, let's say there's times in life where, you typically, most weight training programs, they have you go 3 to 4 times a week. You work out 3 to 4 times a week. And the idea is, being in the gym, working out different parts with frequency can build the muscle. For whatever reason, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, and maybe the case, but that has not worked for me. I've not progressed. And so I stumbled upon a fella by the name of Mike Mentzer on YouTube. And let me pull this guy up real quick. Let me switch to my screen. This guy, Mike Mentzer, bodybuilder. I think his heyday was probably like the 70s or 80s. He died fairly young. I don't necessarily know why. But anyway, his philosophy is that less is more, and that the ideal training frequency of any individual is between 4 to 7 days, meaning that basically if you train on Monday, if you do a workout on Monday, you don't need to do it again until at least Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least Friday or Saturday. And it varies. Some people can be ready to go in 4 days, full recovery, others 7. Now with that, if you're training the body part, it's not only that you only want to train the body part once a week or 4 to 7 days in between, but it's also letting your nervous system get a break. And that's something that I had no idea about, and that's what I'm going to show you guys right now, is that your nervous system, regardless of what body part you do, let's say you do legs on Monday, and then you do chest and tris on Tuesday. While you're working different muscle groups, your CNS or central nervous system takes a big hit when you do the squats or the deadlifts or whatever leg training you do. So you're not fully ramped up, ready to go on Tuesday because of that toll it takes on your nervous system. So let me just show you guys that, because don't take my word for it here. Can you please explain how the central nervous system takes a hit when you work out hard on legs, for instance, on Monday, in that you're not really fully recovered for Tuesday to do chest and triceps, in the sense that the central nervous system has taken a hit, in that although you're working different muscles, the central nervous system plays a role in your recovery and your ability to work out more efficiently, regardless of body part, next time. Is there truth to this? Is that something that's legit and been studied in scientific literature? Come on. Come on, Gemini. Yeah, so the leg day hangover, it's taking my leg day literally, but basically it's a brain to muscle signal. Research shows that high intensity training, especially heavy lower body movements like squats, creates systemic fatigue that reduces your brain's ability to fully activate muscles in subsequent workouts, even if they are unrelated body parts. So when you crush a leg day, your central nervous system experiences a drop in voluntary drive. It just doesn't have as much drive in that part of the brain and sends weaker electric signals to the motor units, well, even if it's a different body part. Studies have confirmed that fatiguing the lower body can impair performance in the upper body. For example, heavy leg work can lead to a measurable decrease in the number of reps you can hit on the bench press 24 hours later. This isn't just tired muscles, it's a survival mechanism where your body increases serotonin and decreases dopamine in the brain to force you to slow down and prevent structural damage. So while your chest and tris may be fresh and ready from a muscular standpoint, like they haven't been worked, your CNS can take 48 to 72 hours to fully reset after a max leg workout, meaning your efficiency and strength ceiling will be lower on Tuesday than if you had rested. So, because of that, you want to not only give your muscles a break, but you want to give your central nervous system a break. And this is why doing a total body workout is more beneficial, so that you are raring to go. If you've ever given yourself a week or 2 weeks off of working out, if you're a consistent lifter or person that works out, you feel excited, like you're amped up. You're like, shit, I haven't done this in a while. And that's what you want. You want to be going into the gym or wherever you work out with full strength, with a good attitude, rather than trying to sludge along like, oh, I don't want to do this. I mean, listen to your body, right? Now, if you're just tired and, feeling lazy, then that's one thing. But if, you've worked out 2 or 3 days in a row and you just feel exhausted, like your body feels drained, take the hint, bitch. Like maybe there's a reason for that, and it's telling you to stop so you can recover and build from what you did. Now, another reason to do a full body workout and to only do it once a week. So people will say, like, a full body workout, how are you going to have the time to do all that? How are you going to have time to do all that, all the different exercises for every single body part required? Another part of Mike Mentzer's philosophy, and this is crazy to a lot of people, is to do one working set to failure for each body part. So for instance, if for chest, you do dips, you do a warm-up set or two to get the muscles and the body loose, get the mechanics down, mind-muscle connection ready to go, and then you do one set to failure. One set to failure within like the 6 to 12 rep range, and then that's it. Yeah, you heard that right. Instead of doing 3 or 4 sets with 3 or 4 different exercises for chest, you do one set to failure. And the idea is that if you go to failure where you cannot do another rep and your muscles are shaking in that 6 to 12 rep range, what reason would you do another set? You have already stimulated or triggered the growth mechanism. You have gone to failure. It can't do another rep. That's it. That's all it's got. And at that point, the body has gotten the signal that we need to grow and to adapt. And Mike Mentzer argues that if you do any other set, not only it's like, are you turning the light switch on and off? Like you've already triggered it. You're just triggering the same thing. You're not getting any more benefit. You are increasing your inroad into recoverability. It's going to take that much longer to fully recover, not just the muscle, but the CNS like we've talked about. So let's do a little bit more research on this issue. Anytime I press F1 to F2, which switches it to this view over here, it opens up this in Chrome. So I apologize. 1 second. What were we going to look up? Yes. Can you please talk about how Mike Mentzer recommends only doing 1 set to failure per body part and the benefits to that, and how your recoverability is increased by doing more sets than 1 set to failure? Yeah, this isn't just me talking. And so when I heard this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? And it's working for me. That's the cool part, is that I've been doing this for about 2 months, and week over week, I have consistently gotten stronger, whereas before that time, sludging about the same results. So yes, here we go. Mike Mentzer's Heavy Duty. Yeah, there's a book called Heavy Duty. I downloaded it for Kindle. Is it a book or a program? Heavy Duty. Well, where is it? I was just going to show you the book real quick. Am I tripping? Was that not the name of the book? All right. I thought it was. Yeah, it was. Oh, it's called High Intensity Training. This was it. Not necessarily that you should read this, but if you're interested and maybe you are not progressing the way you want, or maybe you just want to save more time and get these same results, I highly encourage you to look up this fella and look him up on YouTube. Ahead of his time, and has made my workouts not only more fun and enjoyable because I'm doing it less, but I'm actually getting stronger. Less is more in this space, at least for me so far. So the logic is that the muscle growth is a binary switch, like the light switch analogy that I just said, and I got that from him. Once you hit absolute failure, you flipped on the switch for growth. And any set you do after that is considered junk volume that only drains your limited recovery pool. So the stimulus trigger argued that the last rep of a set, the one you cannot complete, is the only one that forces the body to adapt. He believed that if one set provides 100% of the he believed that if one set provides 100% of the growth signal, a second set provides 0% more signal, but 100% more fatigue, because you have literally doubled the work you've done. It's like if you have to work an 8-hour shift and you get paid $1,000, let's say you get paid that's pretty, wow, that's really good. All right, we'll say $100. Let's say $100. For 8 hours you get paid $100. Now, and that's 1 set. An 8-hour shift is 1 set. You get that $100 benefit. Now, what if you did a 16-hour work shift, so you doubled it, but you still got paid that $100. You didn't get any more benefit. You didn't get any more return on investment for your time. And that is exactly what this idea is. And if anything, with this example, with exercise, you are hurting yourself and you are decreasing the benefit, because now it's going to take longer for your CNS and the muscles to recover from that junk volume. So by doing only 1 set, you're preserving your systemic recovery energy. Mentzer taught that your body has a finite amount of biochemical resources, and if you spend them all on 20 sets of chest, you have nothing left to actually build the muscle tissue back. So you're wasting your precious energy on just junk volume rather than saving it for the ability to recover and get stronger. The more is better counter argument. The 40% growth gap, modern meta-analyses like those by Krieger and Schoenfeld, I don't know who they are, consistently show that multiple sets, 2 to 3 or even 4 to 6, produce about 40% more hypertrophy than a single set. Interesting. So the switch isn't binary. It's more like a dimmer switch that turns up with more volume to a point. Huh. Well, That's interesting he says that. For me, at least, I've noticed that I have grown consistently. And so maybe there's a limit. Maybe I was going too hard, and maybe there's a happy medium. Like most things in life, it's there's extremes, and then usually the one in the middle is usually closer to the truth. So for me, I'm going to continue to do the one set because I finally found something that's worked. But maybe for you, maybe this is too extreme to do the one set, and maybe 2 to 3 is more in line for you. But the point is that to eliminate some of that junk volume, because a lot of these guys will tell you to do four sets for 3 different exercises in one body part, and for me that didn't work. Doing one set to failure makes me feel better. I'm in the gym less. I feel less tired and fatigued after. It works better for me. While Mentzer was right that more is not always better, science suggests that for most people, the sweet spot for recovery and growth is higher than one set. Multiple sets allow for more total time under tension, and fiber recruitment provide the total weekly volume doesn't exceed your ability to recover. So maybe it's just my ability to recover. I'm not sure. I don't know. For me, I don't I've like I said, I've gotten a lot stronger by doing the one set. But yeah, something to consider. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the type of exercises that we do. From barbell, dumbbells, to other things like body weight. And recently, I have gotten into body weight. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing barbells. There's nothing wrong with dumbbells, machines at a gym. But for me, I have been wanting to get more involved with what are called like primal movements, natural movements of our body that we're meant to do. Because you'd have to admit that sitting back on a bench, arching your back with 300 pounds with wrist straps on, and trying to, like, it's not a natural movement. Um, and my father, for instance, was one of those guys. He would try to max out, try to bench 300, 400 pounds, and, excuse me, now he has shoulder problems. His elbows hurt, and he's already had a knee replacement. My point is that while for maximum muscle growth, it probably is best to lift weights for sure. You also want to look at longevity, to be in it for the long game. And doing body weight has been shown to be easier on the joints. And that's been research I've done before, but let me do it again just to ensure that I'm not just spewing ignorance here. So when it comes to body weight exercises versus barbells and dumbbells and that sort of thing, is there a correlation to longevity and health of joints between doing things like push-ups and pull-ups and dips versus doing like heavy bench press, squats, and deadlifts? For someone who does this for 20 to 30 years, is there a difference in their overall health and being able to do those exercises long term? So over a 20 to 30 year horizon, the primary driver of joint health isn't the equipment used, okay, but the management of peak load and injury history. While bodyweight exercise have a lower barrier to entry for joint safety, heavy lifting provides unique bone density benefits that are actually protective against aging if the lifter avoids catastrophic injury. Research on weight training sports show that bodybuilding and general resistance training have surprisingly low injury rates, making them safer than most team sports. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. The biggest predictor of arthritis in your 50s isn't the total weight you've lifted, but whether you sustained a significant joint injury. Heavy compounds where bones adapt to mechanical load. So basically, I'm a complete moron. Really, while pull-ups and dips feel natural, they can actually be harder on the shoulders and elbows for heavier joint. Well, damn, this is saying the exact opposite. Okay. I could have swore this has told me the opposite before. I only bring this up because I've seen that like a lot of lifters who lift heavy in their older age typically have joint issues of shoulders, elbows, knees, etc. Whereas, at least in my limited experience on YouTube of seeing people do like bar exercises and go to the park and do those kinds of things, guys can be much older and still looked very jacked. Period. Maybe this is just my own bias of wanting to do body weight exercises, but I thought there was a correlation. So maybe not. So maybe ignore me. For me, I feel like the jacked old guy at the park is a powerful image, but it often represents survivorship bias. People who successfully do high level calisthenics into their 60s are the ones whose connective tissue survived the high tension demands of these moves. Meanwhile, heavy lifters often face wear and tear not because of the weights themselves, but because the ability to add weight makes it easier to outpace what their tendons can handle. So maybe it's something like this, because I could have swore in the past it said that body weight was better long term. Heavy lifters often face wear and tear not because of the weights themselves, but because the ability to add weight makes it easier to outpace what the tendons can handle. In calisthenics, your max load is capped by your body weight. Older park athletes often stay healthier because they aren't constantly trying to add 5 pounds to the bar. They are refining movement quality, which naturally keeps them within a safe envelope of joint stress. Heavy lifters often develop joint issues because they chase absolute strength at the expense of movement variability. So this is what we're getting into. This is what this is the heart of the issue then. So it's not necessarily weights that are killers of joint and about natural movements so much as the numbers on the barbell, the numbers on the dumbbell, and chasing more and more weight. Interesting. Most calisthenics are closed chain. Your hand and feet are fixed, but your body moves. This generally allows for better joint centration, where the joint stays in its most stable position compared to open chain moves like a bench press, where the weight moves freely, often leading to subtle, damaging shifts in form. So it's like now it's saying, while the guy at the park looks more athletic, long-term heavy lifters often have significantly higher bone mineral density. This is a massive longevity win, as it makes them nearly immune to the fractures that often mark the beginning of the end for the elderly. If you want to feel young and move well, calisthenics has the edge on joint mobility. If you want to be unbreakable and avoid osteoporosis, the barbell is hard to beat. I don't know. Well, there you have it. Okay. So then it sounds like that doing either body weight or barbell is good, although you're saying that barbell has unique advantages and can actually provide higher bone density. I guess the problem many folks run into in those that have joint pains later in life is often because their muscles or the weight that they can add outpace their tendons load, the ability of their tendons load that can handle it. The other thing is that people are often chasing more weight on the bar or the dumbbell, and that's what can also lead to injuries. And then the ability for people like on bench press, because it's a free range of motion, you have more ability to cause an injury on a bench press, and maybe over time those joints can get stressed because of the free range of motion. Period. I guess what I'm asking is, for the average person, is it easier to just focus on body weight and be strong rather than barbell to handle more? I'm just gonna ask that. This is an eye opener for me. I came in here totally thinking that just the body weight and once a week was the way to go, but like exercise and every time you hear, there's no perfect way. Um, so you've hit on the exact physiological bottleneck. The joint issues people see in long-term lifters usually stem from two specific things: a mismatch in tissue adaptation speeds and a fundamental difference in how your shoulder blades move during the lift. The adaptation lag. Muscles adapt to stress in weeks because they have high blood flow. Tendons and ligaments have significantly less vascularity and can take months or even years to catch up to the same load. When a lifter adds 10 pounds a month to their bench, their muscles can handle it. They are often unknowingly redlining their tendons. The scapular trap. In a bench press, your shoulder blades are pinned against the bench, which locks the scapula. In a push-up, your shoulder blades are free to move around the rib cage. Over 20 years, the fixed shoulder position of the bench press can lead to impingement and wear that simply doesn't happen when free moving mechanics of a push-up. So it's like now it's saying the things that I wanted to say pretty much. But I guess it just, to me, my intuition, my thought is that it makes more sense to me. To me, it just makes more sense to not throw 300 pounds on your joints, especially in a free range motion, and people like tear pecs because it's just so much damn weight. And you see these big guys, and they themselves could barely do pull-ups on their own. So I guess my point is to get to your roots, to get to exercises that, I don't know, to me, to make you feel good, that you can go outside in the sunshine and do, and likely be safe while performing them. I don't know. I guess this episode is revealing a good bit of my biases towards weight training with weights. Maybe it's also possibly because I've tried it for so long and I haven't gotten stronger. Now, that could be because I was overtraining and didn't give myself time to recover, like what Mike Mentzer is talking about. And maybe there's just some resentment to the gym bros that are big and I'm not. It's totally possible. That said, I have been enjoying doing push-ups and pull-ups. And for me, it's just kind of fun to do like these primal movements, like movement patterns where you just control your own body. I don't know. To me, that's just more fun, more enjoyable. And I'm going to continue to do that. Many older athletes who stay jacked without pain actually combine the two. They use heavy weights for their legs, where the joints are more robust, and stick to body weight or high variability movements for the fussy joints like shoulders and elbows. Yeah, for me, my shoulders suck. They hurt when I do like bench press or incline press, and I've just found that doing like a neutral grip where I have can't see here. Hold on. Instead of having my hands like this, where your shoulder is internally rotates like this, externally rotated. You can't see shit because I have the hoodie on, but this is internally rotated. If you put your arm out and you go like in and down, this is internally rotated, and so we get too much internal rotation. So when I do push-ups, I put my hands like this and on my knuckles because it provides a nice neutral alignment to my shoulder, hopefully giving me some longevity benefits. But all right, that is about it for now. I have to do my work meeting, but this was an interesting dive into body weight, Mike Mentzer, and how weights are actually not as bad as I thought, and maybe it's just my form. Maybe it's my form, and maybe I was doing too much junk volume. You know, could be a combination of different things. That said, I'm still going to do my body weight stuff. I have fun. I like being outside. I don't like waiting on equipment at the gym. It just feels like a chore. Um, but yeah, do what's best for you. I encourage you to look this stuff up, and if something is not working for you, to just kind of do what I did, and to see what the evidence says, and maybe change it up. If you're not growing, if you're not getting stronger, there could be a reason for that. Switch it up. If you, yeah, you get it. All right, I gotta go.